Finally today, not all grass is a good thing. Common reed has two subspecies in Nebraska, the native variety and the non-native one. Market Journal's Maddie McIntosh spoke with Nebraska Extension educator Gary Stone about the invasive non-variety and the plan you need to make in order to manage it.
The native species of common reed is helpful to Nebraska's wetland areas. However, there's a non-native species which causes more harm than good.
A couple of things to identify the differences between the two. The leaf sheaths on the native species are generally loose, so they can come off of the stem, whereas on the non-native they tend to be stay on the stem. The stem texture on the native species is smooth. When you run your fingernail across it, it's generally shiny, whereas with the non-native species, it's rough, it's dull. The other thing I like to look for are the little black spots, or what I call fly specks, on the native species that are present, but are not present on the non-native species. So that in general is kind of how you can tell the two apart.
While Americanus is helpful to habitats, Australis will take control wherever it takes root.
Well, the non-native phragmites, or common reed species, it invades our riparian habitat, our waterways. It will take over those areas. It will force the other vegetation or native species out, which in turn reduces the biodiversity of our wetlands, which we desperately need to keep.
This noxious weed takes more than one management method to get rid of. There are no biological ways to combat the reed, so producers may need to turn to chemical treatments in order to take back control.
Well, the specific management options of an integrated pest management program, you can mow the species down. If you can get in there and do that, you can also burn it. You can graze it to some extent with livestock, but it tends to grow fairly rapidly, so you need to incorporate maybe a chemical option, either a spring applied or a fall applied treatment of either imazapyr or a glyphosate product, both of which have to be labeled for use in water areas. Generally, they've found that either a spring treatment when the grass, this is the grass, gets up 2 to 3 feet tall, you can see where it's at, you can apply it. Generally, it's coming through the old growth, so it's easy to see. Or, again, in the fall, after everything's died down, then maybe you might want to come in, burn off that old top growth, and then maybe get some new regrowth to come up and then treat it then.
The non-native species of common reed is not new to Nebraska. As seen in the past, if not taken care of initially, it will come back again and again.
Well, I know that earlier on, maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was quite a problem in the North Platte River Basin in the Central Platte area. They did some major treatments up and down the river, but I don't think that they treated all the waterways that fed into the river, and they didn't get the phragmites there. And so now it's coming back into our river system, and we need to really take a hard look at that and see what we can do to manage it better.
Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Maddie McIntosh.